Trevor started the last game, obviously. Moving forward, do you think that Gardner and Trevor are still going to be splitting reps in practice and maybe in the games as well?
We're still going to handle it that way until we end up making the final decision. So right now, they're still status quo.
Is that just about competition, or?
Absolutely, yeah. We're trying to make everybody better, and we want competition in each and every position. And I think both guys are getting better because of it.
Coach Meyer lamented the speed of the game and maybe not showing your hand as much. How have you changed, and what are you going to do differently this week?
We've had some conversations about it, and we'll see what happens in the game, basically.
Coaches are paranoid all over the place. Is there something that's happened in your past that maybe you lost or won a game, a season opener, based off of training camp or preseason or something like that?
I've been doing it a long time here, so I have a lot of experiences, as well as the other coaches that we have on the offensive staff. But I'll just say it doesn't really matter at this point. What matters is what we're going to do here, how we're going to handle it, and we've talked to Coach about it, and we've given our thoughts and his thoughts, and we'll continue in that direction.
Have you guys made a decision of who's going to start Monday night?
Not at this moment, but it looks. Probably is going to be Trevor, but we're still continuing to talk about it.
How disappointed were you with the way the offense performed, especially the first team or the first and second team,
Yep.
and how unexpected was it for you?
It wasn't unexpected. I kind of felt the game would go a certain way. We were asking the guys to do certain things. I thought they played well in some areas. There's obviously some things we can do better. The protection of the quarterback is a major emphasis for us. And, there's different reasons for it. When you say protection of the quarterback, everybody goes immediately to the offensive line. But it really takes all 11. The quarterback has to get it out on time. There's certain timing for that. Receivers have to be where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. Running backs are charged with either getting out or protection. And then there is offensive line element as well. So all of us have to do better in that area. And that's why we have preseason games to see where we're at.
Last year, the Jaguars had the worst pass-run discrepancy in the NFL. And in many of the years in which, prior to past administration, they were usually in the bottom 3 or bottom 4 in that area. You have a reputation of being more balanced. It wasn't so much that way the last 2 years, but for the most part, you've been a pretty balanced guy. How much of an emphasis are you guys putting on trying to achieve balance in a league where throwing the ball is becoming more and more of a thing to do?
Yeah, definitely the league is changing. And the way that football is being played, even at the lower levels, is changing. So you kind of need to evolve with the game. But for me, the run game is always an important part of a football game. I think it allows you to exert your will on your opponent, and then it opens up things in a different way. You can spread them out, or you can try to bring them all in. And so there's just different philosophies with that. I always want to be as balanced as I can be. And the one thing we're looking for is always. And that a defensive opponent can hang their hat on. I don't want to get in those situations. If we're throwing it 90% of the time, then I think we're giving the opponent an advantage. So want to be as mixed as I can.
So much of being able of your intent to be balanced has to do with how good is the running game. Well, you've had Adrian Peterson in his peak years. You had Marshawn Lynch in his peak years. Now you're coming into a situation where a guy like James Robinson, very effective rookie season. Now you've got Travis there. Do you feel like with that 1-2 punch, it will give you a better chance to achieve the balance you're looking for?
Well, it always helps to have really good players. I can go back to Amon Green, Chester Taylor, Adrian Peterson, Marshawn. Had some really good backs. So I feel like we're really solid in that area here. James had a great season last year. Obviously, we added Carlos Hyde, who I think is going to be a really important piece of the puzzle for us, as well as Travis Etienne. So we're strong in that room. We're strong in the offensive line. So, I think that bodes well for us.
When you were in Detroit last year, what made you guys decide to switch Agnew from corner to wide receiver?
Basically, I think the easiest way is we saw his skill-making ability. His playmaking ability and the skills that he had. And he had been a DB, but he also showed skills to with the ball in his hand as a returner. And so we were able to move him over, and I think you give Coach Patricia some credit for that, because he kind of saw that as well, and he said, yeah, let's not use him on defense, let's move him over to offense, and I think it's been a really good move for him.
Did you see the same thing you saw in Detroit from what you seen from him at wide receiver?
I do. When I got him in Detroit, you know, I saw a guy that was really raw, that had the potential, and we basically had him for a year and a half, I would say, as part of that transition. So each and every day, you know, things were new for him, and as he's come here, I think he's continued to grow. So, you know, when you're new at a position, sometimes it can be difficult to pick up some of the stuff, and I think he has really, you know, some natural skills. Obviously, he's got really good hands. He's got great moves, and you know, he can get his own self open. So now, when you put a body in front of him, that's where he really had to work. And you know, I think that what he did there in Detroit, and then what he's done here with Sanjay has really helped him.
How many plays would you say Trevor held the ball too long? And is that a difficult thing to get that 3-second clock installed in a rookie's head?
Well, I didn't necessarily say Trevor held the ball too long,
Oh,
but
I asked, I said, how many plays did you think he held
yeah.
too long?
There's probably a few, you know, but I think the whole game, you know, the whole game experience for him was a really important part for him to have. You know, he's just had NFL training camp, NFL OTAs, you know, so that was his first opportunity to get in there where actually those guys could tackle him, right? So, I mean, that really changes the dynamic of it. And, you know, so he'll continue to get better each and every time that he goes out there.
I know you said he probably will start on Monday. If you could put a number on it, expectations of, obviously he had 2 series this past Saturday night. How many series do you think you guys will play him against the Saints?
Yeah, I'm just going to let Coach handle that, you know. So when we have those conversations, then I'll be able to be definitive with you. I know what he already has said, so I just want to make sure that we're on the same page with it. So I don't want to give you any numbers this point.
How, can you at least tell us this? How much is whatever game plan you map out in terms of snaps is affected by the fact that possibly 2 of your offensive linemen will not be there?
Well, I mean, that could happen at any time in the season, right? So, you know, we really have a lot of respect for Shatley. We have a lot of respect for Ben Barch, and I think they've done a good job for themselves. So we'll play it as a normal game, and we won't have any concerns with those guys being in there.
Does Trevor, is he pretty advanced in terms of, for a rookie, attempting throws that maybe some other rookies wouldn't attempt? Am I explaining that right? You know what I mean? Because Marvin Jones said that sometimes he's made some throws that he was like, whoa, I don't know that another quarterback would have tried that. And I know some of those could be stupid attempts, but I mean, does he have the confidence?
It's a hard question for me to answer when they had Brett Favre and Matthew Stafford, you know. So I've seen some crazy throws attempted, you know. But I've been really impressed with him, you know, and the time to take the chances and the time to learn what you can get away with is in practice. We have turned the ball over too many times in practice, but that's if we're gonna do it and kind of learn the NFL game, I think it's important for him to do it here. And he's shown, I mean, you guys have been out there, he's shown some really special ability with some of those throws. We just got to continue to work on the decisions.
Sorry, you want to finish?
I was going to say, the willingness to make those throws, do a lot of rookies not have that? You know what I mean? Does he have it? You know,
I think it's really just I think it's mentality, you know, of the players. I mean, some guys are looser players and will attempt to try those things, and some of them are a little bit safer. And I'd rather have it where, you know, you have that aggressive mentality, and then we can kind of, you know, pull the reins back a little bit. So I really like what he's been trying to do.
A lot of outsiders, maybe not in this room, but put a lot of emphasis on reps 1s versus 2s. Is that totally overrated, that who's getting reps with what is a rep? Does it matter if you're with the 2 offensive line, the number 2 receivers, or guys who might get cut?
I mean, any rep that you can get is important. And we value every rep. What I tell these guys, I just was telling them this morning that everything is being evaluated. I mean, we evaluate how they're walking down the hall, how they come to meetings, are they on time, what's their demeanor. I mean, everything, you know, because we're trying to get the best 53 guys that we can put on the field. So every rep that they get out there, whether it's with the first group, whether it's with the last group, you shouldn't be counting lines. You should be making your rep count.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Thank you.
Jarrod, can you take us through where you feel like the safety room is right now? How much has it improved in just 1 year?
I love our group. We got a lot of guys from top to bottom. Everyone goes out there competing their tail off, and I'm just really proud of our group, from Dre, the youngin, to Rudy being new, we still got B. Russ, me, DT, Josh, Rayshawn. I can't say enough positive things about all of them. So we got a really good group.
You mentioned that competition. Is it way more competitive this training camp than the last? The winner-loser thing, how much does that motivate you guys?
It motivates everyone. I think everyone has a job to do each and every day, and it's to come out and compete. And I wouldn't say it's different between training camps in the past, but the intensity of everything and the details of every single rep counts, and it's a winner and loser of every rep is being taken into consideration in this camp. So it's been fun, and it's been a lot of energy in training camp.
Jarrod, you paid your dues for a couple of years with this team, and then you got the starting job for 2 years, and now you've got this competition. Are you of the mentality of bring it on, or what do I have to do?
Just battling. I'm really just battling a natural competitor, true competitor. You're going to get the best of me no matter what the circumstances may be. Nothing's been given to me my entire career or life, so competition, I welcome it with open arms, and I'm pretty happy with this camp and how I've been doing so far.
What does this defense do to perhaps embellish or accentuate your skills? What does it allow you to do with a little bit more freedom in this system?
The safeties are interchangeable, so I can be in the back, in the post, playing the pass a lot more, and I can also be down filling the run. And this defense has a lot of packages for the safeties to blitz, so it's pretty much a well-rounded scheme, especially for a safety, and you can be able to showcase all the talents that you have.
Is it fun to play in that kind of defense?
Absolutely, yeah. Being able to bounce around, being close to the line, again in the back half, maybe the deep third, maybe blitz off the edge, or maybe in the middle, so it's pretty good.
Baltimore ran the most dime packages last year of any team in the NFL, and obviously Joe is coming from there. Compared to maybe the scheme of the past few years that you've ran, what is it like knowing that it is so safety heavy and that there could be three of you guys, if not possibly even more, on the field at a time?
It's pretty cool. I haven't, in my previous years, there hasn't been too many times where we have ran dime packages to where another defensive back comes in, and it's really good right now that we have safeties, 3 safeties in the game at one time, and just opens you up with the possibilities of playing a lot better coverage, honestly. It's not to discredit any linebacker, but nowadays in this matchup league, tight ends are basically glorified receivers, and just to put a safety or even a corner on them would definitely help in pass coverage. So dime is pretty good.
Does Urban see you any or poke you at all about Michigan, the Ohio State Michigan stuff?
Yeah, that's all the time. Yeah, that's always going to be there. It's forever beef. Forever.
Do you mind it or not?
I mean, I'm 6 years removed, but it still go blue every day. You know what I mean? So I'm always gonna stand up for the blue when he comes.
Did you ever beat him?
No, I didn't beat him. Nah. Michigan's kind of had a struggle to last pretty much since the turn of the century, pretty much. But we'll be back for sure. The tide will turn.
So obviously we've talked to some guys, and they've said, when Urban Meyer is announced as the head coach, they're pumped for the ferocity, the competitiveness. What's your reaction when Urban's announced as the head coach?
Just excited to be around a winner. I know what he brings to the table just from the outside, but to be indoors with him every single day and see his approach and his mindset has been pretty cool.
He's been adamant that special teams are going to be better, expect to be one of the top in the league. Do you sense that? And what makes you think you guys will be better?
Absolutely. I think Urban does a lot of personnel decisions based off special teams and how much you can contribute to it. And I know that his coverage units will be fast and physical, and he really puts a lot of detail and time into it himself. So he actually steps in front of the special teams meetings and kind of runs the show at times.
How many do you expect to be on of the core 4?
I'm a core 4 guy. Okay. It doesn't really matter my past starting or not. I expect to be out there on whatever team needs me to be.
What have you seen from the young stage in Cisco?
Man, really good talent. I really like him just overall player. I think I like his just personality and his approach first off, willing to learn, but also just natural ability to play man coverage on tight ends, covering the deep half, and also be physical enough to come down and hit someone in the run. So I like to see a guy like that. He's really good, and he should be a promising player in this league.
All good? Cool.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Jared.
Jared.
Already.
Appreciate it, man.
No problem.
Jamal should be down here in like
I'm good.
nice to meet you in person.
Likewise.
Tell us, you went through a position change 3 years in. Just,
Mhm.
did you ask for that? I know they had injuries in Detroit, but what's been the adjustment for you? Are you feel you still in adjustment, or you feel just natural, or what?
Yeah, I feel like I'm learning every day. You know, I always tell these guys, obviously I have a great receiver coach in Sanjay, but, you know, I learn the best when I just watch the other guys, see how they're moving, see how they're coming out of breaks and routes and everything, and, you know, I just try to apply what I can to my game. You know, when I transitioned last year, I didn't have much of an offseason because of COVID, so I didn't get a lot of reps and OTAs. So I was really teaching myself, watching film, you know, watching guys like Doug Baldwin on YouTube and stuff like that. So, you know, I was really teaching myself, but, you know, I learned the best hands-on, so I just watch the other guys, and, you know, I try to apply some of that to my game.
How many different positions? Like, you don't play running back.
Mhm.
I know you kick special.
I call myself an athlete out there. You know, they always say in the league, the more you can do. So, you know, I try to do everything. You know, last year in Detroit, you know, week 1 we had, you know, like 2 or 3 corners go down, and I was like, I could play corner still if you want me to. So, I mean, it's just all about creating value, and, you know, I'm just trying to do that.
You kept that DB number, or is that the running back number?
I mean, that's what I got stuck with in Detroit, and, you know, I did pretty well with it. So you know, I'm not superstitious, but you know, it kind of grew on me. And even since like high school, I used to wear 30 numbers, so, you know, I kind of just stuck with it.
That's your thing.
Yeah, and it's legal now, so, you know, in Detroit, we used to label me as a running back so I can get away with it. But now it's legal, so, and Sanjay hates it. No, don't let him see this.
With that said, I mean, Urban Meyer is notorious for the gadget players, kind of bringing that into college football. Do you expect to be moved, being a running back a little bit, you know, taking handoffs, also catching passes, maybe doing some gadget stuff?
Most definitely. I expect to, you know, to do a lot, to do whatever they ask me to. And, you know, that's what we have in the receiver room, though. We have a lot of versatility in there, a lot of guys who could play different positions. You know, Vishka can go back there and play running back too, so, you know, it doesn't matter. And that's what's going to make our offense so unpredictable is, you know, we got a lot of fast guys, but we got a lot of guys who could play out of position and everything. So, you know, I'm really expecting to, you know, do whatever they ask.
Which Coach said, I think he was a little upset because of the nature of preseason. You couldn't really open the playbook yet. What is that like for you players, especially for you knowing that, they're kind of holding you back in preseason to not return kicks just for fear of injury? So you're standing on the sideline and you guys have all these ideas of things you could do and you can't do them. I mean, what is that like for you?
It's tough because, just as competitors, we want to go out there and, show our best hand. We don't want to hide anything, but I mean, obviously it's strategic and everything. Don't want anybody getting hurt or anything. It's not like you're gonna go out there and get hurt if you run your best stuff, but it's just, coach doesn't like talking about it like it's preseason. We treat it like another game, but we don't want to show our best hand. But it's tough for fierce competitors like ourselves. So.
Apologies if for not knowing this, but is this the first time you've ever been a lock to make a 53?
I mean, I don't even see it as that, to be honest. I'm always competing for.
Coach says it differently, but okay.
I'm always competing. I mean, that was just what I was taught my rookie year. Is like every day you got to come in, you got to compete with not just who else is on the roster, but 31 other people. I mean, teams out there looking for spots to fill and everything. So I look at it like that every day, to be honest.
How much easier has it been for you to come from Detroit to here with Coach Bevell?
It's been such a smooth transition. Just transitioning to receiver last year, it wasn't as tough as I thought it was going to be. Offense is a lot more complex than defense, but they made it a lot easier to learn. I had guys like Marvin, who is obviously still here, who I learned a lot from, and I'm still learning a lot from. But just having Bevell here and having to not learn a whole new system and everything, and everything's pretty much what we ran in Detroit. So. With a little carryover, we changed some terminology and stuff here and there, but it's pretty much all the same. So that's helped so much.
How do you think he's going to be, Bevell, as a play caller? He talks about how he likes to achieve balance, but we all know you get behind in games and all of a sudden balance goes out the window. But I'm just, what do you expect, given the personnel that you guys have? Do you feel like balance is something the Jaguars will not only talk about, but actually execute on game day?
One thing I know about Bevell is he's extremely balanced. He's not afraid to take shots, and he loves to run the ball. So it's an equal, air it out, smash mouth type of football. And one thing I know about Bevell is he never panics. Whatever the situation is, third and short, third and long, Bevell, always has the right call. And we trust him, to get us in the right calls. Coach Meyer trusts him to get us in the right calls and to put the ball in the playmakers' hands and just let us go make plays.
Coach Meyer has a background with special teams. How quickly did you realize that he was going to be all in on special teams and really expect to be one of the top 5 special teams units in the league?
Honestly, from the first day I met him, he made it clear that he was going to be hands-on with special teams, and he's got an extensive background with special teams. And that's what made me want to come here the most was how he values special teams. And obviously I played special teams my whole career, so that was just a no-brainer for me. And he hasn't backed down from what he said since day one. And he's extremely hands-on. If you see him at practice, he's in there showing guys how to kick, slide on punt. He's back there doing everything, and he's extremely hands-on, and I love that.
You've gotten to work with both Trevor and Gardner. What have you seen from the two of them as camp has progressed?
They both got strong arms. They're getting better and better every week. Every concept we throw at them, every defensive pressure scheme we throw at them. They're getting more and more confident, and that's what you want to see, especially from young quarterbacks. I don't even sometimes I don't realize I'm older than them. So obviously I'm transitioning receiver. So I kind of felt like a rookie last year because I was playing receiver for the first time. But I forget I'm older than some of these guys, and I'm kind of a vet now, so it's just crazy to think about it. They're still, getting better every day, and they're still learning new things every day. It's crazy.
That wide receiver room, it's one of the deepest since for years to come. Do you think about how hard it is for a coach to cut one of those guys? Because it seems like every day, every training camp, it's someone else making a play.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I've never been in that position to have to cut people, so I couldn't talk about what that feeling's like, but I'm sure it's terrible, to be honest, because it's all good dudes in that room, and there's no bad characters. We got a lot of vets and we got a lot of young guys who have proven themselves, and who are out there making plays every day. So I can't speak on how that decision goes down and, you know, what that decision feels like, but I'm sure it's definitely tough. It's definitely tough, just like, you know, grinding your butt off with those guys every day, and then like one day like they're not there anymore, and it's just like it's something you never get used to in the league.
This is gonna be out of left field, but you guys get to hang at Sanjay's house? We've seen that thing.
Nah,
online,
he's keeping us out of there right now, but then hopefully one day we'll have the the receiver kickback over there. So if not, we're gonna bombard this place. We're gonna find it on Google Maps or something.
Nice.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah.